Cancer, your week commencing the 2nd of December forecast continues to put the focus on practicalities. Now, you can be one of the best managers of resources and time in the Zodiac, but sometimes we do need to reset. And one of the areas you could be thinking about that in this regard is your work. So for example, if you are in a role or an organization where your commitment, sacrifice and conscientiousness is not quite recognized as much as it could be, either financially or just with appreciation, it could see you thinking carefully about your other options. It's just that with Jupiter in an opposition to both Mercury and the Sun, that other part of your nature, which can be quite spiritual but essentially very nurturing, could make you feel almost a bit guilty about making any kind of change that could have an impact on someone else. And that energy can really reach a peak with the Sun square to Saturn. Now Saturn is in the part of your chart to do with freedom. Now Saturn and freedom are not two principles that we think go together. So what perhaps Saturn's saying to you is perhaps you have to push inside yourself to believe that you have the right to a freedom. But the discussion you have this week with Venus's beautiful link to Neptune can actually be very reassuring. There may be someone who can just listen to your situation, or is a good friend or a family member who does provide some sincere simpatico, and that can just help to lift the burden a little bit. And once we get to Friday with the Mercury Cazimi, you have an opportunity to cut through and try to understand some of these details, but in a bit of a broader way, because the sign of Sagittarius is the big picture, but for you it's the 6th house, which is about the detail. So the Sun applying to Mercury glows up Mercury's ability to analyze, but also brings into play that Sagittarius energy of thinking long term, but also thinking that you do have a right to your truth about your circumstances, and therefore you could make some changes. Now, if there is somebody that's really been gripping you romantically of late, as Venus moves to Aquarius and connects to Pluto on Saturday, it could get very hot, it could get very intense. But also, equally, the converse can be true. When Venus applies to Pluto, we become much more conscious of power or leveraging around relationships. And if you do feel that someone's pinning you into a particular role because they don't want the status quo to change, and that conscientious part of your nature is seeing you reluctant to rock the boat, as Neptune goes direct at the end of this week and the Sun goes opposite Jupiter, I think it can give you a lot more confidence to do what's right for you. And if that does mean a complete change, or booking a holiday, or reminding people at home that they have to do the domestic chores as much as you, or if you're giving yourself the permission to go and have some nice treatments that boost your energy, or moderate or change your diet in some ways, then go with it, because that part of you that's always there for other people isn't something that is given as a right. You have rights too, and they need to be respected as well this week. You can get your free gift of your Zodiac General, Love, Chinese and Vedic written forecasts when you order your personal 2025 forecast below, which has 30% off.